Hello, Chris Worden. So it's an important video this morning. Well, I think it's an important video because we're seeing more and more people being held personally responsible for the bounce back loans. Now, you're going to be watching this and you're going, well, the bounce back loan, I didn't have to sign a personal guarantee. So how can I be held personally responsible? I'm going to give you a couple of examples now today, just to make you aware of them. So one example of someone who's been made to pay back their bounce back loan. There was a person who they'd incorrectly applied for the bounce back loan, so they'd inflated their turnover. They'd taken the bounce back loan from one company and put it into another company. Now, this company hasn't gone into liquidation. The bank has reviewed the application process and they've gone, excuse me, Mr. Customer, can you prove the turnover? Obviously, they couldn't prove the turnover. They then asked what had they spent the bounce back loan on, and it was clear to see it was taken from one account and put into another. Anyway, they got a notice last week. They had 6 days to pay back the bounce back loan to the banks. So now they're in a mad panic. How am I going to pay back this bounce back loan? They've not gone into liquidation. The banks are now checking for fraudulent applications, and they're also checking what the money has been spent on. I've got another example. So we had an inquiry probably 4 months ago off a chap. When we dug into it, he'd used his bounce back loan to spend on building his extension. And you just wasn't allowed to do that. When you apply for a bounce back loan, it had to be for the economic benefit of the company. So the chaps, he sort of was an inquiry, then he disappeared. We didn't hear anything of him. I got a message off him last week, and he's appointed a liquidator, and the liquidator is now coming to him for £35,000, which is the bounce back loan that he applied for. He said, is there anything you can help? And I said, well, I warned you about this months ago. What you're going to remember is when you go into an insolvency procedure, the insolvency practitioner, it's their job to look at what you've spent that money on, and it's their job to look specifically what you've spent the bounce back loan on, because the spotlight is on bounce back loans right now. So this guy is being pursued through the courts. And he had his first legal letter last week. So what are his options? Listen, there aren't really many options. If you've appointed a liquidator and they found that you've misspent the bounce back loan by putting an extension, by buying a car, by going on holiday, by paying off personal credit cards, they are going to pursue you for that money. Now, listen, if you're concerned about business debt, if you're concerned about bounce back loans, if you're concerned about how you're going to pay them back, about what you've spent them on, it's important that you get advice early and you understand your position fully. Now, sometimes the advice I give you is not going to be the advice you want, but it's the truth. And I think it's really important to understand what you've got going ahead, because there's some serious ramifications that are going to be felt over the next months and years about people who've misused bounce back loans. So I'm just hoping to bring you information that I know that people are interested in. The videos we do are designed to be informative. They're not always going to be happy clappy, everything's great. There is some rough stuff happening out there, and it's important that with taxpayers' money, the government are going to be looking closely at what it's been spent on. I hope you found this useful. Please give the video a like and a share. Follow us if you want to have a chat off the record about your situation.